It will come as good news for a country that has borne the brunt of terror because of its increased role in combating the enemy, but often feels abandoned to its own devices in confronting an enemy of a global nature.
In the face of despicable violence, such as the attack on Garissa University College and the Westgate Mall, the Kenyan people have shown incredible resolve and remarkable resilience. I also want to pay tribute to the sacrifices of Kenyan forces who serve in the African Union-led mission against al-Shabaab in Somalia, and to thank Kenya for hosting so many Somali refugees who are the victims of al-Shabaab.
So as a country, as a government, we are satisfied with what we're doing. We need to expand that more.
And taking the cue from Kenyatta, support from the Big Brother will now be enhanced.
As part of our security governance initiative, our governments signed an action plan yesterday in which we'll support Kenya's efforts to strengthen its judiciary, police, and border security.
The US has also promised a larger role in sharing of information amid blame games over whether crucial information is shared between the two nations when attacks such as the Garissa and Westgate attacks occurred.
We have to continue to make progress in intelligence sharing and being able to identify and prevent threats before they occur here in Kenya and elsewhere in the region. Part of our announcement today involves additional funding, additional assistance that we're providing the Kenyan security forces.
But the Big Brother stands accused for pledging support on one hand and on the other dampening Kenyan spirit in the war against terror by issuing periodic travel advisories that hurt Kenya's image and economy.
I recognize the concerns and I do think that despite the seriousness of the terrorist threat posed by al-Shabaab, that in part because of media attention, probably even more than travel advisories, that threat can oftentimes be exaggerated.
Obama, however, also pointed out that Kenya must fight the war against terror without necessarily infringing on the rights of a section of Kenyans, something he says the U.S. experiences but has dealt with effectively.
If you paint any particular community with too broad a brush, then that can have the inadvertent effect of actually increasing the pool of recruits for terrorism and resentment in communities that feel marginalized.
As we learn from others, we will be able to handle this situation in a manner that does not, as President Obama said, encourage this kind of activity going forward on the basis of either marginalization or people feeling that particular communities are being targeted.
Kenya has repeatedly challenged the U.S. to provide more support in the war against terror, arguing the U.S. shares a moral burden to support it, especially in confronting the threat from a shared border with Somalia, Kenya having suffered terror attacks including the 1998 U.S. Embassy bombing that claimed more than 200 Kenyan lives and left many more maimed. And so Kenyans have renewed hope in the war against terror that the Big Brother will not be wavering in its assistance. Hussein Mohammed, Citizen TV in State House, Nairobi.